Hey everybody, it's Galmadex, and welcome back to another Throne of Eldraine Courtside Brawl. Today I'll be playing the Savage Hunter deck. It is the deck built around Korvold, Fae-Cursed King. He's 2, a black, a red, and a green for a 4/4 legendary Dragon Noble. He has flying, and whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. However, whenever you sacrifice a permanent, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on him and draw a card. So this deck is pretty neat. It's the sacrifice-themed deck, kind of like one of the commander decks. A few years ago, they had the Jund commander deck was sacrifice themed. It had this thing that made a bunch of kobolds, and you could sacrifice the kobolds to give it +1/+0, or you could pick like the Shattergang brothers, where you could sack an artifact to blow up a bunch of artifacts. Or you had like some random Cold Snap rare. Sequar, that was like whenever your things died, you made a 3/1. Anyways, this deck reminds me a lot of that because it's a whole lot of sacrifice theming and things that trigger when your stuff dies. So this deck has a lot of food tokens in it, which is the biggest reason I wanted to play it, because I want to play with some food tokens. They're brand new. Might as well try out some of the new food, see if it tastes any good. And there's also... I think that's basically it for like consistent token production. Like there's a decent amount of food tokens, and then like a little bit of everything else when it comes to tokens in this deck. There's some goblin tokens off of stuff like Krenko, and then like Azoni makes insect tokens. Just kind of a mixed match of other tokens. It's not like a bunch of like afterlife spirits or a bunch of sapperlings. It's like a little bit of everything, a little smorgasbord, if you will. Definitely a very delicious sounding deck. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the games here and see how well the Savage Hunter deck plays, and more importantly, we're gonna eat some food for the first time ever on Magic Arena. Well, for my first time ever. I'm sure plenty of other people have already eaten their food tokens, but this will be my first experience with food, and I am excited about it. Probably one of the most synergistic cards in this deck is... oh no, we're playing a mirror match immediately? This is the same thing that happened last time we played. Anyways, one of the most synergistic cards in this deck is just like a 6-mana sorcery that each player sacks 3 cards. Well, each player sacks 3 creatures, and then you get to make 3 food tokens. So that card seems very good in the late game for this deck, especially if you've got Korvold on the field. Of course, you'd need 4 creatures on the field to go with the Korvold, so you'd need to have cast something like a Azoni beforehand, but it seems potentially pretty good. So we're going to start off with a Goblin Crater Maker here. And this was a pretty risky keep, but my mind was on a lot of other things. I was trying to finish off a couple thoughts there. So that'll definitely happen, but if we draw just any land at all, this hand's okay. Excuse me. I can maybe... just start getting in there with some zombie tokens from Angrath. Well, 1 zombie army token, I should say. But we definitely need to draw a 4th land and beyond to do stuff with this hand. Ah, so there's the card that I was talking about, the card that is probably the coolest, most synergistic card. Taste of Death. Look at that food, look at that unhappy pie. Alright, we got a Krenko resolving on our opponent's field. Pretty terrifying. It's a good thing I can just sack this Crater Maker and kill that thing immediately. And that's probably going to be the play. So we're going to go ahead and block and sack to kill Krenko before my guy trades with Pollenbright Druid here. I just do not want to have to deal with that Krenko. And there's a Dreadhorde Invasion. That's definitely not the worst thing in the world. It's at least a card that we can cast. So we're really running on empty here. I mean, we're running off the top. See what on earth we could possibly get. Because I made a pretty bad keep at the start of this game. But things do happen. Things happen. That's all they ever do. Alright, we're taking 2. Getting a 1/1. And Orzhov Enforcer. Pretty fantastic draw. This is definitely not, not a great spot to be playing in, but... playing off the top is better than not playing at all. Let's see how things go here. Alright, they've got 4 mana up. They've got a Vindictive Vampire, so all of their creatures dying are going to drain us for 1 life, which is pretty scary, especially when we have a Dreadhorde Invasion already dealing 1 damage to us every turn. So they're sending in Pollenbright Druid. If I block with Orzhov Enforcer, I won't have that at the ready for any more large ground creatures. I think I might have to just take this too. Because I also don't want to just trump with the 1-1, because if I keep my 1-1 on the board, it'll get bigger next turn, then it'll be a 2-2, which basically holds off their 2-2. There we go, Evolving Wilds, never didn't have it. It's all ready for us, get us that forest. Let's get rolling. I wonder if this has that non-basic swamp. Oh, this is specifically for basics. Never mind. I wasn't sure if this was one of those cards that searches for specifically basics, or cards with basic land types, because there's some cards like that. Like Farseek and some other stuff. I don't actually think there's anything in Standard that searches for just like a swamp, and it doesn't care if it's basic or not. But that would be cool, because there's a new non-basic swamp in Eldraine. It's the Witch's House, something like that. I don't remember the exact name, but it's a very cool looking card. Alright, so now we'll just trade with the Pollenbright Druid. Alright, nothing in their hand there, so we're just going to get drained for 1. And let's see what they're casting. Keeper of Fables, what do you do? Whenever 1 or more non-human creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. That is a very strong card. Can definitely see that starting to show up in Commander after these Eldraine Brawl decks come out. Yeah, that is quite nice. Alright, so we can play a Pollenbright Druid, an Angrath, or a Rhythm of the Wild. I think I kind of want to just play an Angrath and make my dude a 3-3 here. Then I've got a blocker for Keeper, and I have a 3-3 to block Vindictive Vampire, and with Angrath out, I can help get this to 6-6 a lot faster. So yeah, next turn I'll take 1 damage, and my zombie army will be a 4-4, and then I minus Angrath again to make it a 6-6. So if they don't kill my zombie army this turn, I can turn it into a 6-6 next turn, so that I can swing in with lifelink, thanks to the Dreadhorde Invasion, so that is why we are casting Angrath here. We'll see what our opponent has. They do have enough mana for Korvold. They've got a Witch's Oven. They can sacrifice their creatures to turn them into food, which is just hilarious and flavorful and absolutely wonderful. I'm very excited for this set. Alright, so they played Korvold and just immediately sacrificed the Witch's Oven. That's a little bit sad. Would have liked to see some Witch's Oven shenanigans. That would be quite funny, but, you know, we'll roll with what we got. So I could cast Korvold here. I think I'm going to go ahead and make my zombie army a 6-6, so I can swing in and gain 6 here, and they have to double block it because of Menace, which means that no matter what, I get to trade for a good creature. I mean, all 3 of their creatures are good, so I mean, that's not saying much, but we'll definitely see how they block here. They might just not block at all. They can go down to 21. That's not a scary life total at all. Perfect. Alright. So now we're up to 22 life. Angrath is never going to make another zombie army. Well, he's never going to amass again because he's only at 1 loyalty, so I'm actually just going to cast Korvold and sacrifice Angrath here. I don't think that the Menace is super necessary, and I think that all of my lands are definitely necessary. And Dreadhorde Invasion is fine. I would like to just keep making this army bigger and bigger. That is definitely fine with me. Now if I play 1 more creature, then this Taste of Death is very active. Because I think just being able to cast Taste of Death, if you have Korvold on the board and just sacrifice literally everything but Korvold, no matter how good it is, that's almost always just going to be a great play. Alright, so Korvold's coming in. They're sacking a land to draw a card and get a counter on Korvold, so we're taking 6. Which means they get to draw another card thanks to that Keeper of Fables. Very strong card. I wonder why it's specifically non-human. It must just be for flavor reasons. So our 6-6 has been baked into a pie. which means it is now just coming back as a 1/1. So I think we're definitely on the Taste of Death plan. So we need one more mana before we can do that. I could just cast a Moldervine Reclamation, and then send in, sacrifice my 1/1 to put a counter on Korvold, draw a card, which would be 2 cards and gain 2 life. Well, gain 1 life. That seems okay. I could also play a Pollenbright Druid to amass. I can't play Rhythm of the Wild into Pollenbright, so if I play Pollenbright Druid, that's the only thing. And I wouldn't just be amassing, it would also be putting a counter on Korvold. Probably just gotta roll with Moldervine here. Things are not looking great for us. We definitely kept a pretty bad hand, but we'll see if we can come back from it here. I'm gonna go ahead and sack the zombie. Draw 2 cards, gain 1 life. There we go, we got a land. That is what we needed. Put that right there. We're gonna take 7 to the face this turn for sure. Possibly 8 if they sacrifice a creature. That way they'll get a Vindictive Vampire trigger to do another damage to us. Plague Crafter. Alright, well, we're definitely sacrificing Orzhov Enforcer then. Both me and my opponents will be drawing a card here, because we both have Korvold on board. So, we've got a lot of triggers here. I also have Moldervine Reclamation, though, so I think this is actually better for me than them, but it does get the Death Toucher out of the way so they can start attacking with Keeper of Fables as well, which is kind of scary. I think I will be chumping that Keeper with my 1/1 if it comes in this turn. I might have to even just cast a Taste of Death. Now it's bad. Now it's bad. They've got 4 creatures out now. Now if I cast Taste of Death, they can leave Korvold on their board, which is pretty bad. If they sack Paradise Druid, that's fantastic. Or Plague Crafter. But if they sack one of those, I'm definitely casting Taste of Death. Alright, cool. If I cast Taste of Death here, we've actually got kind of an even game. We're both going to have just a million cards in hand, and a million mana, and a pretty even amount of life. Alright. So, I have 6 mana, so I can cast Taste of Death and Witch's Oven if I want. I might even be able to do something crazy here instead. We'll play Command Tower first. I've got a Golgari Finebroker. Maybe I don't Taste of Death yet. Because I can... They're at 16 life. Thorn Mammoth, what do you do? When it enters the battlefield, or another creature enters the battlefield, it fights a creature that I don't control. So I could just play this and kill their Keeper of Fables, but then I need some kind of flying chump blocker for Korvold, which I do not have right now. And I'm only at 13. So that's pretty worrying. Let's actually send in Korvold, sacrifice my 1/1, just to draw 2 more cards and see if that changes anything here. I do think I'm going to Taste of Death, though. Savvy Hunter and Swamp. Okay. Let's just taste it. I would like to put Korvold into my command zone. Which means that we do not get death triggers. That is important to remember. That is something that I never even realized, and I've been playing Commander for ages. I've been playing Commander for probably a decade now, and I never knew that if a commander dies, like during a Wrath of God or something, but you put it in the command zone, it does not count as a death trigger for something like Moldervine Reclamation. Because it's not going to the graveyard, it's going to the command zone. So, if you've ever had a situation in Commander where somebody plays Wrath of God and somebody has like a Blood Artist or something that triggers whenever something dies on the board, I'm just going to discard all the mana. If you've ever had one of those situations and you all counted all the commanders dying, You were all wrong. That's not how it works. There's a Zoni. We've got our own Zoni, but that's pretty bad. I mean, it's just a bunch of 1/1s, but that's kind of the perfect sacrifice fodder for Korvold and all of the other cards in their deck that require them to sacrifice stuff. So that's pretty bad. I don't believe I have anything in my grave that really helps with this. Temple of Milady. Alright. Yep, nothing in my grave really helps with this. I can play a Thorn Mammoth and fight a Zoni, and then Thorn Mammoth can very slowly start chipping away those 1/1s. That seems like probably the best play I have. Does spend all of my mana, though, but I think that's fine. Play Thorn Mammoth. Fight a Zoni, and now every turn when I get my Dreadhorde invasion, I get to fight another one of their little 1/1s. Alright, Paradise Druid. I don't want you right now. You're pretty small. I just want some more really nice late game cards. And Witch's Oven plus Dreadhorde Invasion is an interesting combo. I think we might be at a low enough life that we might start using that. We would need more expendable mana, though. That would be a really good combo for if you're at a low amount of life and don't have a lot to do with your mana. Unfortunately, since our hand is like fully loaded, we've got plenty of stuff to play. But if we didn't, we could like just turn a zombie army into food every turn. Just like trump block with the 1/1 and then turn it into food. And then just gain some life off it as well. That could be very nice. So Judith is pretty horrifying for us. Turns all of those 1/1s into 2/1s, and now whenever a non-token creature they control dies, Judith will do 1 damage to anything that they choose. However, Judith does not trigger off of token creatures specifically, so they are not going to be able to throw anything at us with Judith. At the very least. So we are down to 5. We gain 1 life, draw a card. What do we got, Moldervine? We got for us Rugged Highlands. Alright. It is a land. At least it gains us a life. That is pretty nice. It's kind of crazy. We do not have a lot of undergrowth going on right now. We've got 2 cards in our grave. Priest of Forgotten Gods. That's pretty brutal. God, these are both really fantastic, but Thorn Mammoth is going to help us start eating those if they don't kill it here with their remaining couple mana. Looks like they're just going to gain some life here. Fantastic. That means Thorn Mammoth is about to put in some work. Because we got to get rid of that priest or they can start using those 1/1s very effectively. Have us lose life, sack a creature, and they get to draw a card. We are at way too low of a life to worry about this priest. But, to be fair, Judith is a huge problem, too. We're just in a pretty bad spot here. I think I'm going to shoot the priest. See what they shoot with Judith. If they don't shoot Thorn Mammoth with Judith, that means the next creature we play, we can kill Judith. Awesome, okay. Alright, ooh, Vindictive Vampire, that is very helpful right now. We need the life. We really need the life. Alright, so... Actually, could we just win if I play Rhythm of the Wild? Do we have anything big enough that giving all our non-token creatures haste does anything? So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, which means I can play that and a 5 mana card. Nah, we don't have anything near big enough to just win on the spot here. We can play this, then we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 power. Well, we could get close. Oh wait, no, we have enough power. We have enough power. If they don't shoot one of our creatures, we've actually got enough power here. So I'm just going to try that. I highly doubt that this is going to work out for me. But let's see. We're going to give haste. Fight Judith. Alright. 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 power right now. Oh wait, that doesn't have haste. Okay, that's fine, because we get to play 2 more power with Palm Bright. This is exact lethal. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exact lethal. Pollen Bright, get out there. Get that, get the haste. We're gonna put your counter on yourself. We'll shoot one of those, because I think we have to. I don't know if we do, but either way, we've got enough toughness. Get in there for 11! Wow! That was unexpected. That is not how I thought that game would end, but we brought it back from that horrible keep. What a great way to start the games for the day. So I'm going to play until I get my 6 wins. So since I got the 3 wins with the first deck, that means I only got to get 3 wins in this video here, and I'll unlock all of the cards. So Savvy Hunter is a really cool card. Whenever it attacks or blocks, create a food token, and you can sacrifice 2 foods to draw a card. Very cool card. I'm definitely going to be playing this a lot in Brawl. Alright, so 2 more wins to go to get all that we can get from the set. We've got Inspiring Veteran and Order of Midnight. So I am not just playing this event for these cards, so after I get the 6 wins today, do not worry, I'm probably going to make at least one video with every one of these decks, and then I'll probably just play a whole bunch more on my free time, might even make more videos, I don't know. But I do plan on doing a 3-win run with all 4 decks in the future. So here we go. Playing against Sir Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale, and this is a much better hand than the last hand that I kept, so let's hope this one can take us to victory as well. This one has a lot better mana. We've got Leyline Prowler to tap for any color of mana. We've also got Death Sprout. If we get to cast that to kill something, we get to kill something and search for whatever basic land we need, put that on the battlefield. And we've got a Golden Egg that we can sacrifice to make a mana of any color. So this hand is a lot better in the mana department. A little bit of a slow hand here, which is a little worrying against Sir Gwyn. Sir Gwyn does seem like the most aggressive of the decks for sure. The Knights can really get out there pretty fast. So as you can see, we are off to a mildly slow start against a pretty fast start from the Knight deck. That Belle of the Brawl is gonna be brutal. That is a 3/2 with Menace, and when it attacks, all of their other Knights get +1/+0 till end of turn, meaning that when they attack this turn, since that has Menace, I can't block it with Leyline Prowler, because it has to be blocked by more than one creature, and I can't really block that 2/2 Soldier either, because it'll be a 3/2 Soldier, and I don't really want to trade my Death Toucher for a 3/2. Oh wait, that's a Soldier, never mind. Never mind. Disregard the commentary. I am going to block here. They'll probably like play a pump spell or something. Oh, response. That's actually awful. I was really hoping it was just going to be some random pump spell so I could at least still gain the life. But I was not really expecting the Leyline Prowler to die there. Or, I mean, I was expecting the Leyline Prowler to die. I was just hoping that I would get to 2 for 1 him and kill the Soldier and like a pump spell. But I did not get to kill the Soldier, so that's a little bit bad. So now we might be on the Finality plan. What is the best thing to do here? Probably not going to Death Sprout if we're going for Finality. So just play the Golden Egg and draw a card. Maybe play a Woodland Champion just to threaten to trade with their Soldier. Smitten Swordmaster coming out onto the battlefield. That is just a 2/1 lifelink on the field, but it is a Knight, which means it will get the plus from the Belle of the Brawl, which is pretty bad. But they are not casting the Curry favor, at least, so we're not getting drained for any life. Alright, well, they're coming in hot. Guess I get to make Woodland Champion a 3/3 next turn if I play Angrath. Alright, Jungle Hollow Angrath, maybe? Then I get to have a 2/2 and a 3/3, and I've got Finality for the turn after that. Yeah, I think this makes sure that we have okay-ish blocks. They'll probably kill Angrath, but I think I can At the very least, stop most of the damage this turn, and the next turn kill all their creatures, and they are stuck on 3 mana still, so that could perhaps put me at a pretty large lead after resolving a Finality. And now that I've made Woodland Champion a 3/3, it means that it'll survive Finality, because I get to put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, making it a 5/5, and then give everything -4/-4, so Woodland Champion will survive as a 1/1 during that turn. And then it'll obviously be a 5/5 for the rest of the game. Ooh, nothing. I do not know these decks well enough to know if I should be worried. So I'm not masked to... Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I don't know. For some unknown reason, I thought that would make it a 5/5. That was pretty dumb. Well, I guess I'm not finalitying. Do I do just finality here still? I mean... Yeah, it's embarrassing, but it's still the best play. The absolute best play would have been do not use the Amass until after you kill everything, so you could still have a 2/2 on this board. But it looks like instead we're just going to have a 6/6 zombie army on this board. It would have been better to have it split up among 2 creatures and have a 5/5 Woodland Champion and a 6/6 zombie army for that very reason right there, that they just had a Mortify to kill my zombie army. So, should not have amassed until after I killed everything. Alright, looks like opponent was still stuck on 3 mana though. Definitely a very unlucky game for our opponent. Not the most fantastic way to end that one. Alright, Inspiring Veteran. All of your knights get +1/+1, except Inspiring Veteran. Because he inspires his friends, not himself. Alright. So, 1 win to go, and I will have unlocked a playset of all of the available Throne of Eldraine cards so far. Which is super cool. Alright. Let's get some more Brawl. Get some more Brawl. Very cool artwork in the background there. That is the Wishing Well artwork. I expect I'll be playing that card a whole lot. I've played it a little bit in the Esper deck. Speaking of the Esper deck, there it is. Just 1 mana artifact you get to scry to when it comes into play, and then later in the game you can spend 4 mana, sacrifice it, and draw 2 cards. It's a very interesting card, a cool way to get some card advantage. I think it'll be pretty okay in Limited at the very least. At least in Sealed. So I expect to be trying that card out in Limited. So we're just going to grab a Forest off of this Evolving Wilds immediately, because we need to grab our Forest right now. That way next turn we can play an untapped land and a Paradise Druid. Because if I played any other land here, then I wouldn't be for sure if I could cast Paradise Druid next turn, because our only way to get green mana makes it come to play tapped. Alright, so Paradise Druid coming out. And next turn, I'll have 4 mana total, so if we don't draw another card, we'll play our tapped land and our Mayhem Devil. Another pretty strong card with this deck. Whenever we sacrifice anything, Mayhem Devil gets to deal 1 damage to any target. And as you've seen, this deck sacrifices a lot of things. However, our opponent also got a very strong card for their deck, Mace of the Valiant. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on it and has Vigilance, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under their control, they get to put a charge counter on it. That is very, very strong in Alayla, because Alayla says whenever they cast an artifact or enchantment, they create a 1/1 blue fairy, which means that they're going to be making a lot of creature tokens and putting a lot of charge counters onto that mace to make something super, super large. So I am going to go ahead and let them have that treasure token. That is actually a... Okay, whenever you cast, alright. If it was whenever a treasure or an artifact or enchantment enters the battlefield, that would be an insane combo with Alayla, but fortunately it's not that good. Well, let's draw some cards here. I'm going to cast a Keeper of the Fables. That way, when I attack with this Mayhem Devil, I get to draw a card, because Mayhem Devil is not a human. So his damage will allow me to draw a card. Which means I'm giving them another treasure. Smothering Tide, quite the powerful card, just gives them a lot of mana at their disposal, a lot of treasures. And I'm sure there's some cards in there that combo pretty well with it, because there's a lot of cards in there that care about the amount of their artifacts and enchantments, so I'm sure something in there has some kind of thing that, like, whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under their control, they get something. Here comes an Ancestral Blade, pooping out a 2/2 soldier, which is also known as just a 1/1 soldier with +1/+1 from the equipment. Alright. 5 mana. I have to pay 2. I'm not going to pay that this turn, but after this turn I can probably start paying it, because I only really need 6 mana here. Alright. 1 to any target, so if I sacrifice 2 things, I can have Mayhem Devil kill their 2/2. Alright, here's a swamp. And then just play Korvold. If I play Korvold, I'm sacking a land, though, and they're just going to keep getting treasures forever. Play Vindictive Vampire and Dreadhorde Invasion, or I can play like Moldravine and Witch's Oven. I mean, I feel like Korvold is probably just like the best thing I can do here. Yep, I think I Korvold, sacrifice a swamp. I would still rather sack a swamp than a Witch's Oven, so I'm not going to play a Witch's Oven here. I'll just leave my dude untapped. Alright, sack something, draw a card. 1 to target creature, planeswalker, or player. Don't really need to kill their blocker. I can attack with Keeper of the Fables and Mayhem Devil to make sure I get 1 damage in. They're definitely going to draw like a million off of that Smothering Tithe. Alright. Well, not draw a million, but get a million treasures. That's what I mean. We'll have to see if they have any instances or sorceries. It is very possible for them to cast stuff because of the amount of mana they have, but they only have 3 cards in hand, so that worked out pretty well. And now I'll just cast this Witch's Oven. And pass the turn. So now, literally at any time that I need to, if something goes crazy, I can sack one of my creatures to deal 1... Oh my god, whenever anyone sacks? Oh, I completely forgot about that. This Mayhem Devil does 1 to anything whenever anyone sacks. So when they sacrifice their treasure tokens, I get to deal a damage. Wow, they have got to find removal for this Mayhem Devil quickly. That's insane! I didn't even notice until now. Oh my god, Mayhem Devil, get in there! That is so good against Smothering Tithe. Alright, they're going to kill Korvold. If I were my opponent, I might have just killed Mayhem Devil, honestly. But they are in a very bad spot, because Korvold is very dangerous as well. So we'll put Korvold into the command zone, and since I sacked something, I get to draw a card and deal 1 to something. So that is the power of just having a sacrifice outlet, like the Witch's Oven out. Even if you never actively want to sacrifice any of their creatures, or any of your creatures, I mean, it's still good to have out. That way, when your opponent is going to kill one of your creatures anyway, you can sacrifice it for some value, which in this deck usually ends up being sacrificing it for a lot of value. Sacrificing it for 1 damage to my opponent, and draw a card, and get a food token. Alright, I gotta check my internet. What is going on here? Alright, my internet's fine. But we had a little network error there. It looks like we're back. Our opponent might still be having some network issues, as they are roping on time here. But yeah, this is why I said I don't want to just like sack the Witch's Oven, because even if it doesn't do a lot when you sack the creature, it allows you to sack a creature, which in itself is important for this deck. Alright. So, yeah, Korvold is a super cool card overall. I'm pretty pumped about these Brawl decks. I think I'll probably just pick up the singles from them, because I did pick up the Commander decks for the year, so that, I mean, that's just too much money to spend on magic cards. At least for me, because I'm not super well off, so I think I have spent plenty on magic cards this year. I'll have to just pick up some of the singles from these Brawl decks, because I also expect to play a lot of Limited from Throne of Eldraine, so I'll probably just have a lot of the just regular stuff within these Brawl decks. Seems like our opponent might be permanently disconnected here. That would be a kind of lame way to get our last win. But I think we're doing very well in this game overall. Just having Mayhem Devil against Smothering Tithe was ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. Oh, so if you have not heard, these decks that we are playing in the event are almost the exact deck lists for the Brawl decks that they will be releasing as a product in Paper Magic. There are only a couple differences. I believe 2 of the cards in this deck and 2 of the cards in the Knight deck are cards that work specifically only in multiplayer, like in 3+ player Magic. So they swapped them out for 2 different cards. So in this deck, this is almost the exact deck list that you would get in the Brawl deck in stores. However, there's a Mask of Immolation instead of I think it's like a green, a black, and 2 for like a 3/3, and when it comes into play, you get a food token for each opponent you have, and then you can sack the food token to do something. And then there's one that also makes a rat for each opponent that you have, and you can sack the rat to do something. However, those just straight up don't work in 1v1. They'll just give you 1 token and not be that great of cards, so they just substituted them for cards that work a little bit stronger in 1v1, like just Mask of Immolation and something else. But for the most part, these are pretty much the exact lists as the paper versions of these deck lists. So they're pretty nice. I mean, I haven't looked at the mana base in this one. I think there's a Shockland in this one, though. I think there's Stomping Ground. Obviously, all of the decks have Command Tower. All of the decks have Arcane Signet. So good mana bases all around. Multiple decent rares. Just cool rares like Dreadhorde Invasion. And, of course, the main card, Korvold, or Alayla, or Sir Gwyn, or Chulainn. I feel like there might be a problem with Arena that is occurring right now. So if we won this game, this would be the 6th win to end the video. So I'm just going to say that happened. Okay, because I think we might be having a problem with Arena. I think we have been sitting here for longer than it would have been roping. So I think at this point it should have booted our opponent and gave us the win. So I'm going to reboot my internet just in case and see if we just get a "we lost" error here. Or we'll see if it's an Arena glitch. I am not sure what's happening. I am not sure what's happening at all. So, a very strange video. Of course, we would have technical issues in this video right after having technical issues in the last one. In the last one, the mic was a bit rough. Wow. Alright, well, we'll play another game. We'll go grab our 6th win. I guess it probably kicked us out of the game. And, gave our opponent the win. I want to see what happened from our opponent's side of that game. That was a strange situation there. But yeah, last video the mic sounded pretty terrible. I think I fixed it a little. I think the mic should sound a little better today. And the audio balancing should be a little better, but we'll see. So this hand is definitely very nice. We've got all 3 colors of mana, thanks to Command Tower. And the new Command Tower artwork is fantastic as well. I want to see if I can trade somebody like a couple of the old Command Tower artwork for the new one, because that is cool. Alright, Mask of Immolation, get out there. So we are playing against Alayla again, so we can just pretend that last game never happened, and this is the match against Alayla. So Corridor Monitor is a very adorable card. It's very Beauty and the Beast. It's like the animated little house servants type looking thing. Very cool. Empyrean Eagle, very nice. All their flyers get +1/+1. And obviously that deck is going to have a lot of flyers. They have a commander that spits them out at rapid rates. So we can't really attack here. If I attack with my 2/1, they can block with that Empyrean Eagle, and then I would just have to sacrifice it to do 1 damage to their face. I have no way of killing that Empyrean Eagle on blocks. So it looks like we're going to no block here. Arcanist's Owl. I love this card visually. That is so good looking. I love the look of colored artifacts, and I love the look of hybrid cards. I just love colored artifacts and hybrid cards, and that card's both of them. And it has fantastic artwork. Just really cool card. I love these so much. Alright, well, we've got 4 mana, which means we can Death Sprout something. I'm just going to pass. And next turn we can play something pretty good. We can play Korvold, or we can play Keeper of Fables. It just kind of depends how we want to draw cards. Do we want to sack stuff next turn? Or do we want to just poke our opponent? Alright, I mean, they don't have any black mana right now, actually, so we don't need to save this Death Sprout for Alayla right now. So, if I kill Arcanist's Owl, I'm stopping 4 damage. If I kill Empyrean Eagle, I'm stopping 3 damage. Empyrean Eagle might be the scarier thing over the long game, so I'm actually going to kill that. Because that's giving +1/+1 to all of their flyers. So in the future, that could be the worst card for us. Because in the future, they could have a bunch of little 1/1 fairies out there doing crazy stuff. Alright, here comes Winged Words to draw some cards, definitely trying to get to that black mana. Just the Plains, alright, they're still stuck on mana. Stuck off of the 3rd color over there. We might see a mana rock. There we go, there's a golden egg. That'll give them 1 mana of any color once, so they can at least cast a Layla off of that, if they do not draw a black mana here. Scrabbling Claws can exile stuff from our grave. That's actually pretty good against this deck. This deck has 1 or 2 things to get stuff out of the grave, so that's pretty good against Golgari Finebroker, basically. The card that we drew, so that's kind of bad for us, but we'll deal with it. I can play Korvold and sack a land and sack an elemental and draw multiple cards that way. So I am a little more interested in that than Keeper of Fables here. Because if I play Keeper of Fables, in order to draw a card off of that, I will have to attack with both my creatures to make sure one of them gets in there, so I'll just have to lose my elemental. Alright. So I don't see much point in attacking here still. Attacking with both of them does let me get 2 damage through with Judith. And then, like, I am planning on sacrificing this elemental at some point soon anyway. But I don't think I want to do it, like, right now for absolutely no value. I think I'd rather wait, and maybe they'll make a 1/1 fairy. And I can just shoot that and draw a card. Alright, Finality is going to be brutal here. Oh my god. They have 1 mana up? Oh yeah, it's just Finality time. It is actually just Finality time. One, two, three, four, five, six. We've got Finality mana at the ready. Let's go ahead and sack this to draw a card and do 1 damage to them. Oops, submit 1. Completely forgot about that. Moldavine Reclamation. That's a fantastic card. Alright, it's time for Finality. Now, it is incredibly likely they're just going to have a removal spell to kill Korvold, but this is still a 3 for 2, and it's getting rid of 2 cards that I really need to get rid of. Alayla and Arcanist's Owl. Alright, and we get to hit him for 4 with Korvold. And we will sack... We've got the Command Tower to give us the second color of whatever mana we need. So Swamp or Forest is pretty even here. We do have another Forest in hand, so I'll sack the Forest. Don't want to sacrifice the Mask of Immolation because it gives us something to put onto our creatures to sacrifice them. But I could definitely see me sacrificing Mask of Immolation in the future. Alright, looks like they're popping their Scrabbling Claws because they wish to draw a card. And there is the Prism Realm for Korvold. He is obviously going to go to the command zone. I do not have anything to destroy that Prison Realm. So, we better put him in the command zone so I can actually play him again. Bag of Holding and a Ancestral Blade to get out a 2/2. So since they popped Scrabbling Claws, I'm actually now free to use this Fine Broker whenever, but I don't have any permanents in my grave that I want to get back. So, I can play a Blood-Soaked Altar, but then I don't have any creatures to sacrifice to make that demon. Can't quite play my commander, so if I play Arcane Signet and something else this turn, that assures that I have enough mana for my commander next turn. So do I want to play Keeper of the Fables? Or do I want to play Moldavine Reclamation? Since I currently don't have any creatures out, I kind of would rather play Keeper of Fables and hope that they don't have any more removal. This is definitely a card I want to remain on the board. It has a pretty powerful effect. So preferably no removal coming down quite yet. Looks like they're going to draw a bunch of cards off of their random artifact cantrips. A cantrip is just a card that draws a single card when you play it. Smothering Tithe. That card is super good, as we saw last game. Decline. Would love to draw into our Mayhem Devil. That would be fantastic. I'm going to sacrifice the Mask of Immolation here. I don't have any really expendable creatures quite yet. I will off of Dreadhorde Invasion, but I also want all this mana, because if I keep sacking mana, there's no way I'm casting Korvold one more time after this, because he currently costs 7, and I have 7 lands out, so... Well, I have 7 mana out. So if I want to ever cast Korvold again, I need to make sure I keep my lands. So this way I'm not just, like, screwed if they remove them again. Alright. We shall see what they have. Shimmer Dragon. That is absolutely fantastic on this board. An insane combo with Smothering Tithe. Or Tithe. Because that allows them to tap 2 untapped artifacts they control to draw a card. That includes artifact tokens. So, all of their treasures are now absolutely fueling them to draw a lot of cards. So I am definitely going to start paying for that Smothering Tithe, because things could go very poorly for me if I do not. Alright. So, they have a 6/7 hexproof that allows them to draw a lot of cards. So they can only draw 1 card right now. They've got 3 untapped artifacts. What do I want to do here? Got a 6/7 is just so large. I don't really have much of a response to that. It's a 6/7 that I can't target, so I can't swing into that right now. I'm going to start playing cards to make as many creatures as possible to start maybe trying to use Priest of Forgotten Gods. Alright, I have 6 mana. Yeah, let's try to use Priest to get out of this situation, I think. Which Priest is going to be very bad the second they drop a Layla down, unfortunately. I don't think I have a whole lot to do here. That 6/7 Hexproof just really just came in and walled us off. No attacks. Workshop Elders. Artifact creatures you control have flying at the beginning of combat on your turn. Have target non-creature artifact become a 4/4. Oh god. Well, that's pretty bad too. It's kind of looking like they're going to start taking control of this game here. We're about to get wrecked. That is a 4/4 treasure token. That is super cute. Alright. Unfortunately, because they're only 4/4s, like, at least we can block them. So. Smothering Tithe, absolutely getting paid for. Pay 2. Alright. Pollen Bright Druid allows me to put 1 counter onto Korvold. So if I play Pollen Bright and I proliferate counters out, when Korvold attacks, I can make him a 7/7. And then the only way they can kill him is if they double block with the Shimmer Dragon and the token. But then I don't get to play him again. Oh boy. That still might be the best play. Like, is Shimmer Dragon worth... Oh god. I think I have to just get rid of that Shimmer Dragon. And then I have to worry about the frickin' Workshop Elders. Which is horrifying. I'm not going to play Moldravine Reclamation here because I want to make sure to get rid of their treasure tokens. Well, I want to make sure to not allow them to get treasure tokens in the first place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 mana. So I do have enough to cast Korvold one more time. I think. So if I don't sack a land, I can cast Korvold. Which means I should sack Pollen Bright? Probably. Then I don't have enough to do anything with Priest, but that's okay, because they have a 1/1 to sack to Priest, so Priest is not going to do a lot. So I'll sack Pollen Bright. Ooh, Taste of Death. Alright. We are going to pay that. Cool. We are going to definitely kill Shimmer Dragon. They get to keep that treasure token. So now I don't have to worry about them drawing a million other cards. And Korvold costs 9 mana to cast next turn. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have exactly enough to cast him later. Alright. We have a game plan. However, our opponent now definitely has a game plan as well. We now do not have much to stop that Workshop Elders from making all of their artifacts 4/4 flyers to come bash us in the face. But soon enough, we will have a 5/5 Korvold in the air to try to block stuff that way. Alright, we are taking 9 in the air here. That's pretty bad. Massacre Girl. Oh boy. That dies. That dies, and that dies. That makes it 3. Okay. I'm going to full control here. Okay. So that dies. Then these two are going to die. If these two die, that's 1 plus 2 more. That's going to be 3 more minuses, which will kill Workshop and Guild Globe. But not that treasure token. Oh, it will kill the treasure token, because then those will die. So we're actually fine here. Do I want to use Priest, though? Yeah, I draw 1 card. Yeah, I have enough mana to pay for that, then. I do have enough to pay for that, so we will do that. Before Priest dies. And this just like 100% makes sure everything dies. Ooh, and this is... Oh my god! Is this going to kill all their stuff before they have to sack? Oh, it is! That's so good! And now they have to sacrifice Massacre Girl. I didn't even know that was how it was going to work, but that worked out so well. That worked out so well. Thank you, Priest, my friend. That's so good. Oh my god. That's so good. Alright, now we're going to pay the 2 that we got from the Priest. Wow. That worked out super well. I don't think my opponent knew how that was going to work, but I didn't either, so that's totally fair. I just got super lucky with how that turned out. That just ended up being a fantastic turn for me. Alright, we're definitely going to pay it. I don't actually want to cast a Korvold because I have 1,000 cards to play, so I don't need to. I would rather keep them off of as much value as possible. So, Vindictive Vampire, and then we got 3 more mana. Actually, maybe I should have just played Korvold because I can't really do a lot here. Most of my cards only really work in combination with other stuff. Alright, so... for 5 mana, they can have this one. They don't actually have anything that, like, super benefits them from the treasures now. That the thing that makes treasures big dudes is gone. Alright, we'll just play Vindictive Vampire. And pass. Bag of Holding, trying to draw into something here. Their Alayla currently costs, I'm not sure how much. But it's more than regular. Costs 6 mana? Alright, they do have enough to cast Alayla here. Shine Chaser it is, though. They probably want to bait out all of our removal before they cast Alayla. So that is a 3/3 Flying Vigilance, since they control an artifact and an enchantment. Pretty strong. Alright, make our dude a 2/2. We're getting pretty low on life. We're definitely going to bake that thing into a pie. I'm just going to give them all of the treasure that they want, still. I'll bake that thing into a pie. Because I need to not take any damage. And now we can Moldravine Reclamation, so I gain a life whenever my creatures die. I've got multiple things that could potentially gain me life. I've got a food token, I've got a Witch's Oven to throw things in the oven and make more food, and I have a Vindictive Vampire, so when I toss things in the oven, I also drain my opponent for 1 life. So I think we've got this pretty much in the bag. I mean, we had a major amount of card advantage after that Massacre Girl. We just had like 6 cards while our opponent had like 2, something like that. The Bag of Holding is trying to get them out of this situation, though. See if we can do anything here. And they can pop the bag for 4 mana to draw all of those cards they've dumped in there. Alright, here comes Alayla. Two, 3, Flying Lifelink Death Touch. And here's a Shambling Suit, which, since they have so many artifacts and enchantments, is massive. That's a 6/3, and the treasure tokens are just going to keep making it bigger. Unfortunately, we don't have any straight-up removal. We're just going to have to Taste of Death here. Which isn't the best thing in the world, because I lose all my dudes, but at least I get a bunch of food. And I do get to drain them for 1 life with our Vindictive Vampire. Oh, I should have made a food token from my Witch's Oven before I resolved that. There was no reason not to. So I should have 1 more food token than I currently do. That was a bit of a punt. There's the scoop! Alright, because that Molder Vine just draws us more cards, and we're going to have a loaded 7-card hand against basically nothing. That was a little bit of an awkward way to end the game because we had so much card advantage, but just not a big way to make something scary and finish them off. Like, if that was the plan, all we could do is cast literally a single Korvold, in which case they did just discard a Conclave Tribunal into the bag of holding. So if we played Korvold before they discarded that Conclave Tribunal, they could have just Conclave Tribunal to Korvold. And if we did it afterwards, they could have just sacked the bag of holding and then Conclave Tribunal Korvold. So we didn't have a fantastic way to end that game, so it kind of felt a little bit like we were toying with our opponent, but we were doing the best we could. We were playing as many creatures as we had. They were just tiny little baby creatures. So that is going to end today's video with the Savage Hunter deck. Definitely another great deck. I think these are all probably pretty good. I obviously haven't played with them all, but Chulane looks like he gives you a lot of card advantage. Just whenever you cast any creature, draw a card and you can play a land. That's super cool, and you can bounce your creatures back to your hand to play them again. Very cool looking card. And then obviously Sir Gwyn, the Knight deck, looks very aggressive. A bunch of really good Knights, and Sir Gwyn makes all of your equipment free to equip to Knights and allows you to draw cards whenever you attack with them. So just another really great looking deck. So we will see how those go in the future, but for now, that is going to end the video for me for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and you stuck around to the end, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all again shortly. See ya.